Given the experiences you had, the people you've spoken with, and the things that you've seen work most effectively, what are the tools, in general terms, that you think the average person, those listening, can implement in their day-to-day lives to level up their mindset? If there are any, of course.
We take the approach, a dual approach essentially, in the sense that some internal work, so some form of bringing awareness to yourself and your thoughts. A very good one for that is some form of journaling practice. Again, journaling is either often misused or just written off as a bit kind of like woo-woo or out there. It's actually it's one of the easiest and most effective ways to really understand yourself and what's going on. But I find the best way to use it is to use specific questions. So to set yourself, and I mean, there's lots of books out there that you can get that do this for you, or just set yourself specific questions around, like either events that are happening. So if there's a particular event at work or whatever, just pose the question to yourself: why is this causing me to react in X way, or this way, whatever that is? Or simple things like, how do I see success? How do I see myself? Anything that's happened particularly in your life, or areas of your life you want to dig into, like, why do I always react this way in relationships? Why do I always respond this way? And just really try and dig into and go as deep as possible. And the easiest way to do that is just keep asking yourself why. So whatever you write down initially, just say, well, why? Why do I think this? Why have I written that? Keep asking why, and you'll learn, and again, it's a practice, it's a skill in yourself. You'll start getting down to the real core of what's driving things. The key part of that process is, you've got to be willing to be honest, and you've got to actually be willing to look at those parts of yourself that you might not necessarily like, which we all have, but seeing that as something positive, because once you know it, then you can start to change it. So that is a very simple, like 10 minutes of that every day. If you did 10-15 minutes of that directed journaling every day, I guarantee you will see a change within even a couple of weeks, like no doubt. And then on the other side, the external, simple changes or implementing simple habits, which again are overlooked. Things like, don't look at your phone for the first 30 to 60 minutes of the day. Instead, do a morning walk, get some morning light, do some exercise, or just simply be present with your family, whoever's around. But not letting your phone kind of hijack your mind straight away, because you'll be looking at emails or social media or whatever it is. So something as simple as that. Same at the other end of the day. Just putting the screens away, putting the phone away, 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. Just those two things for most people. Like, most people wake up, first thing they do is on their phone, and they're doing it last thing before bed. If you just implemented that, like last 60 minutes at the beginning of the day, 60 minutes at the end of the day, and a 10-minute internal reflective practice, you will see results. But those things that I've just said there, they're not sexy. It's not the big, take this supplement, you'll see this change, or some dramatic effect. But from what I've seen and all the work that we've done, and the more I read about or spend time with high performers, that's the difference. The people who are really fulfilling their potential and finding happiness and contentment along the way are the people who are doing these simple daily practices. There's nothing crazy, it's not rocket science, but they're just either overlooked, or people are just too sold down that kind of big shiny object, which we get sold on all the time on social media.